In the headlines, a premium system suggested by vendors to keep farming alive. Financing for government's One Family program. Another candidate jumps into the race for St. James North. And in sports, Clapham Bulls are the repeat champions of the B.A.B.A Premier League.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome with the Monday, May 5th edition of Newsnight. I'm Tisha Hines. Good evening. A suggestion by the executive of the Barbados Association of Retailers, Vendors and Entrepreneurs that officials treat farming like insurance with relevant premiums being set. Rachel Agard met with Barvin's president, Alistair Alexander, and files this report.
It is high time that farmers and vegetable vendors band together to become one, and the sector be treated like insurance and the relevant premiums be paid. This is the only way to ensure the farmers' needs are met. That's according to President of the Barbados Association of Retailers, Vendors and Entrepreneurs, Alistair Alexander, who says the attitude of those in the sector has to change.
I call upon the farming community, and I have been calling upon them to really get together, organize themselves properly, especially the crop producing farmers, to get themselves together in a proper organization, right, to cooperative organization, to actually approach farming in Barbados like if Barbados is one farm. If you understand what I'm saying, like if Barbados is one farm, it is time that we instead of having that competitive attitude, that we start to have that cooperative attitude towards farming.
Mr. Alexander says there are a number of issues plaguing the industry, including an increase in water rates and climate change. He says officials have definitely felt the effects of climate change, with depleted yields in some crops like tomatoes. He adds yam and sweet potato production are also down.
A great fundamental in farming is water. So you can have all the big plans, all the great and grand ideas for farmers, and you don't have something as simple as adequate and cost effective access to water, you're going to have a problem.
Recently, security has become an issue at the Mighty Grinder facility after one of the kiosks was broken into. But Mr. Alexander says the level of security they are able to provide is dependent on their resources.
If I could have had 24-hour security, you could be certain that Barvin would have done so. But we are self-reliant, right? We are the ones who run this market ourselves through our resources, and the resources are not that big.
Mr. Alexander adds 5 years ago they were moved to their current location as the facility on Cheapside was a temporary one. And they remain hopeful they will be able to complete the overall look of the new market in short order. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
CIBC Caribbean has made yet another financial injection into government's One Family program. Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs with responsibility for crime prevention, Kirk Humphrey, says the bank donated $8,000 to the initiative in 2024 and is again contributing the same figure this year. Addressing the handover ceremony, Minister Humphrey said the money will be used to empower the program's beneficiaries.
It's our view that training has to be the essential component to be able to break poverty. People's capacity to work, people's capacity to earn is the fundamental component, along with the many other pillars in the One Family. Counseling, healthcare, access to education, housing, many things. But definitely if we can get more people working, we feel that we'll be able to break poverty. And those funds were used to help us empower people to be able to work, to give them official training. These funds will be used to participate in a reading program through Dr. B.A.B.'s reading program, to allow young people to be able to read and to have those skills that they can make a contribution to Barbados as well.
Head of Country for CIBC Caribbean in Barbados, Kimar Polus, says the bank is pleased to partner with the One Family program to help improve the lives of Barbadians.
This is our second year of participating in the One Family program, but going beyond that, going all the way back to COVID, we would have supported the ministry in supporting the people in our community. This is exceptionally dear to us as a bank. We are from this community and we want to give back.
Another party has thrown its hat in the ring for the upcoming St. James North by-election. President Alex Mitchell will represent the Bajan Free Party in the upcoming by-election on May 21st. Mr. Mitchell made his $250 deposit at the National Housing Corporation just this morning. He says he's hopeful to garner support for nomination in the constituency, as that is not usually a place they have previously fielded candidates. However, he says they have already begun canvassing in that constituency.
The plan will come from them. They will tell me what they want. It's not what I want for St. James, it's what they want, right? They'll give me the orders, and that's what we do for them. And the people that need housing, we believe that we are the majority land owner up there, and we will be able to clear their land titles so that they can move on, start building equity, and then we will build the houses that we talked about in all of our campaigning. We can start with the 44,100 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses that we want to build on our land, so there won't be any land being acquired by anybody, and we will straighten out the documents and the papers of the people up there.
Mitchell last contested the 2022 general election for the St. Michael's South constituency. He had also planned to contest the St. George North by-election in November of 2020, but was forced to forfeit that spot after he was unable to complete the nomination process. Nomination day for the St. James North by-election is set for tomorrow. The Barbados Police Service is seeking the public's assistance in locating Requino Semke Orlando Barker, 33 years, who is wanted for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters. Barker, whose last known address is Hawkins Gap, Westbury Road, St. Michael, is approximately 5 feet 9 inches tall and of dark complexion. He has thin lips and tattoos depicting teardrops beneath his left eye. The words, only God can judge me, and the name Torian on his right hand. Mr. Barker is advised that he can present himself to the Criminal Investigations Department at the Oistins Police Station, Oistins, Christchurch, accompanied by an attorney at law of his choice. Any person who may know the whereabouts of Requino Barker is asked to contact the Criminal Investigations Department at the Oistins Police Station, Oistins, Christchurch, at telephone numbers 418-2608 or 418-2612, Police Emergency at 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477, or call the nearest police station. Members of the public are also reminded that it is a serious offense to harbor or assist wanted persons, and any person caught committing this offense can be prosecuted. And the manhunt continues for murderer Kishon Lamar Anderson Thomas, alias Pappy, Paps, or Tom. Thomas, formerly of Seaview, St. James, escaped from authorities while at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital on Friday. The public is reminded that those found assisting any wanted person can be prosecuted. Anyone with information that can lead to Thomas's arrest is asked to contact the Criminal Investigations Department at Central Police Station at 430-7189, 430-7190, Police Emergency at 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477, or call the nearest police station. Well, coming up, just under 3,000 students to take the Common Entrance Examination tomorrow. 2,981 students are registered to sit the annual Barbados Secondary Schools examination across 21 secondary schools tomorrow. Among them, 16 students have been granted permission to sit the exam early at age 10. Minister of Educational Transformation, Senator Chad Blackman, is reminding the students that there is no need to be nervous, since the examination does not determine their future.
36 students have requested exemptions from writing the examination. The ministry has also received 128 special accommodation requests, including provisions for scribes, large print materials, readers, and/or additional time. This represents a decrease from 183 requests in 2024 and 180 in 2023. We as a ministry are fully prepared for the administration of this year's examination and extend our best wishes to all students participating in the BSSEE 2025.
That, of course, was Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, who says 116 students have requested referrals. Dr. Bradshaw explains 106 of those who requested deferrals are in Class 3 and are not yet adequately prepared, while 10 are from Class 4. West Terrace Primary School has captured the history and memories created at the school over the past 40 years and are preserving it for posterity. Students and teachers witnessed the burial of a time capsule at the West Terrace School institution as part of the school's 40th anniversary celebrations. Our Anesta Henry was there, and she has that story for us.
The time capsule, filled with student memories and artifacts, now buried at the West Terrace Primary School, will be opened in 40 years' time. Principal Charmaine Jones says the moment was emotional for her because when the capsule is opened, she will be 99 years old, if she is still alive.
Dear future principal, lead gently, lead bravely. Some days will stretch you, others will lift you up, but every day you will be part of something sacred. And so, I send you this blessing from one principal to another. May you have wisdom when the way is unclear, courage when the road is steep, compassion in every decision, and joy in the journey.
Member of Parliament for the area and the Minister of Training and the Tertiary Education, Sandra Husband, says West Terrace Primary has been blazing a trail since opening 40 years ago.
We want a bright future for each and every one of you. And I know today we hear the stories of children who maybe have not followed the right path, young people who are not setting the example, who don't live by the cultural values of all Barbadians. But before me today are hundreds of young children who have laid a hold of our anthem, you've laid a hold of our motto, you've laid a hold of the cultural values of Barbadians, and you are living it out in what you are doing every single day when you come to school.
Past student and Olympian Barry Jackman says West Terrace has played a significant role in his life and the lives of many others.
All the way from Holders Hill to Cave Hill, West Terrace has played a crucial role in educating this entire community, of which I was very blessed to attend. My message to all of our wonderful students: from the few stories I've shared, you can see that anything is possible in your future. You're at the right institution with the right support, the right structure, the right teachers, and I want to encourage you to always, and I want to make sure I say always dream big.
Following the burial of the time capsule, Minister Husbands presented Class 4 students with tools to be used during this year's Barbados Secondary School's entrance examination. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
The Leicester Vaughan School's auditorium has been named after two remarkable educators. The space will now be referred to as the Barker and Wilson Auditorium, honoring the legacy of the school's founding principal, Reverend Ezra Barker, and the first female principal, Diana Wilson. Again, our Anesta Henry has the story.
Member of Parliament for St. Thomas, Cynthia Ford, wants the students of Leicester Vaughan to make those who shaped the foundation of the secondary institution proud. She says founding principal Reverend Ezra Barker and the first female principal Diana Wilson, which the auditorium is now named after, are two individuals who laid the platform for the school to thrive.
I want you forever to have etched in your mind that there are Barbadians who did not sleep some nights because of trying to coordinate, of trying to put programs in place, of trying to ensure that this school is on par with all others across the island. And I know that most of you have graduate teachers on the staff. So it means that there was an investment there in them coming to be able to extend to you the education that you require.
Reverend Barker's vision and discipline shaped the foundation of Leicester Vaughan School. Ms. Diana Wilson's inclusive leadership and unwavering commitment to excellence left an indelible mark on the school community.
I want to proudly lend my support to the renaming or the naming of this school's auditorium to the Wilson and Barker Auditorium. And I want you all to remember, or you may not have known them because you would have been in primary school when they passed, but I want you to remember that these two individuals were the persons who started this school, who set the trend for excellence, for good discipline, for proper attitudes and everything else that goes with it. And once you continue on that trajectory, you too will become some of the most outstanding citizens of Barbados.
Principal Suzette Holder says it is fitting that this hub of student life should bear the names of two individuals who embody leadership, learning, and legacy.
As we unveil the Barker and Wilson Auditorium, may it stand as a living monument to their courage and conviction. Let every voice that sings on this stage, every foot that steps into this room, and every idea that is born within these halls be a continuation of the legacy they began. To the families of Reverend Barker and Ms. Wilson, we thank you. Your loved ones were not only leaders of our school, they were change makers in a community. Let us remember that true greatness is measured not by titles we hold, but by the lives we touch.
The Leicester Vaughan School was opened on October 7, 1997. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Well, it's time for a peek at sports. Mark Seal is in the house.
Very good evening to you. Burger King Clapham Bulls have repeated as champions of the co-operators General Insurance B.A.B.A Premier League. They retained the title by beating 246 Mobile Shop City United Celtics 3-2 in the best-of-5 final series after taking Game 5 last night at the Willie Gym by the smallest of margins. This game was close throughout, with the Celtics winning the opening quarter. Darren Hurley corralling this long rebound from the Joel Hunt miss and burying a three. He had a game-high 25 points. But like I said, it was close. Simeon Maynard immediately responding for the Bulls. He was given the space, so he took the shot and knocked down 3 of his 12 points. This play epitomized the effort that's required for a winner-takes-all season-ending game. Raheem Gibbons of Bulls with what looked like an open three, but Theo Greenidge reacts to effect a block. Gibbons, however, stayed with the play, and eventually they found Akeem Marsh, who nailed one of his team's 13 threes. Still, though, Celtics had the better quarter, leading by 4 at the break, 24-20, as Jared Allen gets the weak stuff from Andrew Eiffel out of there. A player who clearly came to play with a must-win attitude was Rashid Maynard. He had a team-high 22 points for the Bulls. These points here came him to the hard way. On the other end, Kazarian Adams also had plans of not being denied. Here he brings out the bag of tricks on Antoine Winter and kisses 2 of his 18 off the glass. Back the other end, Darian Hurley had a good night beyond the arc, hitting 4 3-pointers to add to his 14-point tally, as the Bulls were now only down by 1 at halftime, 49-48. There were a few legitimate candidates for the finals MVP, and the worthy winner was Marsh. He had 20 points in this Game 5, and the Celtics really didn't have an answer for him. Here, Marsh is surrounded by 3 defenders, but still gets the and one. Remember earlier, Aline had the block on Eiffel? Well, Rashid Maynard got some payback for his teammate, swatting this one of what seemed to be a sure 2 by Aline. The Bulls were now in the lead after 3 periods, 69-63. That lead would go up to 10, but the Celtics would claw back. Greenwich fakes the 3, loses the handle on the drive, but recovers the loose ball and gets the baby hook to go. He had 12. The Bulls would keep the lead here in the 4th, though. Eiffel had a game-high 6 assists. This one into the chest of Winter for the easy bucket. Less than 10 seconds to go. Celtics down by 4. Hurley gets the 3 they needed to only trail by 1, but they also needed a steal and a quick 2 for the victory. But the Bulls took care of the rock as time expired before Marsh slammed home the exclamation mark. Bulls taking Game 5 by 1, 87-86. Clapham coming from 2 games to 1 down in the series to win 3-2 and repeat as B.A.B.A Premier League champions. The trophy presented by Cheryl Ford of Co-Operators General Insurance to Captain Raheem Gibbons and the champion Bulls. And that result means the Bulls have swept all of the B.A.B.A titles for 2025, having first won the President's Cup, then the 3-on-3, and now the Premier League. Congrats to the Bulls. Britain's Hill moved to 31 points and cemented their position in 2nd spot in the B.A.B.A Premier League with a win over Kickstart Rush last night at the B.A.B.A Technical Centre. Ellerton also defeated Paradise, while UWE Blackbirds and Wotton played to a draw. CBC's Anmar Goodrich-Boyce reports.
The first match featured UWE Blackbirds in yellow and black versus Wotton. No goals in the first half, so let's begin with the second 45. Wotton with a free kick on the hour mark. Kimar John lashes on with a right foot volley. It should have been saved, but Wotton lead 1-0. UWE tried desperately to salvage a point from the contest right until the very end. 90th minute, now or never. Wotton can only clear as far as Shamari Harewood, and the half volley finds the bottom corner. The final score, Blackbirds 1, Wotton 1. Second match of the triple header, Kickstart Rush versus Britain's Hill. 17 minutes on the clock, Rush with a set piece opportunity, and like a Category 5 hurricane, this has blown the roof off the house. Unstoppable from Dimitri Diasco, Kickstart Rush lead. But Britain's Hill were leveled a few minutes later. Jitters at the back for Rush results in Akeen Brown trying his luck from outside the box, and that's a charm. Game well poised at 1-1. Second half action, Kickstart Rush with a free kick. Nathan Skeet goes around the wall with a curler, pick it out the net, 2-1 the score. That lead didn't last as long as a snow cone on a summer's day. Shaquille Boyce is alert and nutmegs the keeper to all. Plenty of time for either side to win it. The score remained the same until about 13 minutes left. Flip of the script, Britain's Hill in the mood, and it's the making of a sensational team goal. Corey Hoyt as the finishing touches. Britain's Hill take the lead for the first time. 8 minutes from time now. Britain's Hill secure the win when Boyce and Hoyt linked up again. The keeper caught in no man's land. Britain's Hill defeated Kickstart Rush 4-2. To the nightcap fixture. Ellerton in the red going up against Paradise. 6 minutes gone. Ellerton with a corner. and Ramal Bino is there to head it home. The boys from St. George strike first. But midway through the first half, Paradise found the equalizer. An appeal for a penalty. None given, none needed. Terrell Damandonka with a thunderous strike. It's one each. Move along to the 34th minute. Ellerton coming forward again. And Anson Barrow is there on the doorstep. 2-1 the score. And Ellerton put the game to bed in the second half. Ramal Bino gets his second as Ellerton defeated Paradise 3-1. And more Goodrich boys. CBC Sports.
More assistance is coming for entrepreneurs in Barbados. It's an initiative of the Barbados Trust Fund Limited. General Manager of the fund, Jerry Amos, told the unveiling ceremony at the Lester Vaughan Secondary School the program is destined to move entrepreneurship to the next level. Our Trevor Thorpe has that story.
Let's Talk Entrepreneurship is the name given to the initiative, and a plethora of business officials fielded questions and gave advice to participants in the outreach program, which has been organized to stimulate activity and growth among young business hopefuls. The Barbados Trust Fund's General Manager, Jerry Amos, says it is an opportunity for entrepreneurs to come together and network for their own development and that of their respective businesses.
We are going to have Let's Start Entrepreneurship in every parish over the next 18 months, and we intend to engage as many entrepreneurs as possible. We want to use this opportunity not only to tell persons about the Barbados Trust Fund Limited, but to hear from you the issues that you may be having, see how we can resolve them, what policies can be set in order to help entrepreneurs, but that is our goal.
Head chef at Caribbean Villa Chefs, Dane Sadler, implored the participants to always seek advice, get a mentor, and never try to reinvent the wheel.
The first part, having $100,000 to start a business, because if you can't manage money or you can't formulate ideas and motivate and have self-control, that $100,000 gonna seem like $10 because it gonna just disappear and you're gonna still be at the same point. So you need to have a plan, and you need to have a mentor or somebody to speak to help guide you, and do not be afraid to ask for help. A lot of people have ideas and want to hold them close because they think somebody will steal my idea and they're going to run with it. But your idea is your idea. Somebody may have something similar, but only you know the direction you need or you want the business to go to.
Advising the participants to always develop a plan, the management chef says it's not easy to be an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Everybody thinks because they have an idea that they can run a business. But like the exercise today, we have some are worker bees and some are queens. Some people can instruct and direct. Other people can think they can do it until it has to be done.
Chief Executive Officer of the Flower Forest and Earthworks, David Spieler, says service is key.
You want to place your paper ads strategically and still utilize them. They can be very effective. But if you don't have a good product and good service, then it doesn't matter.
The Let's Talk Entrepreneurship will be hosted at venues across Barbados. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
With the advent of hybrid and electric vehicles, the automotive industry is alive and well and holds a world of promise for the future. That was the message from a teary-eyed, retiring regional product manager at Courtesy Garage, Sam Gaston, to colleagues and guests at his retiring ceremony at the Wildy-based multi-brand dealership and attended by a cross-section of corporate and other business leaders. After spending some 46 years with the company, he said times and attitudes towards work have changed.
Dedication that you can put to what you really, really love to do, nothing beats that. You can't count the years to do that, okay? I enjoyed every moment that you spent here. Some people that I would have loved to see here are not here anymore. But they're with me, right? I wish you all the best, and I hope that you do not sit on your laurels and think that Courtesy has reached 100 years and he has achieved everything. There's a lot more to be achieved.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inn. Pause is power. and by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Well, Mark Seal is back for the second half of sports. Mark?
Indeed, we're going to start with cricket, where 4 Barbadians are in the West Indies' 15-member squad to face Ireland and England in upcoming one-day international series. They are Captain Shea Hope, Roston Chase, Matthew Ford, and Justin Graves. They are joined by Joel Andrew, Casey Carty, Amir Jangu, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Gudakesh Boti, Shafane Rutherford, Jaden Seals, and Romario Shepherd. The Windies will take on Ireland from May 21st to 25th, and then England from May 29th to June 3rd. As they dominated the team event, so too did Puerto Rico dominate the singles competition as the curtain came down on the 28th Caribbean Regional Youth Championships that were played at the Wildy Gym. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke reports.
It was an all Puerto Rican affairs teammates Aurora Bonome backing the screen and Amaris Hernandez Martinez faced off for the under-15 girls singles title. And it was Martinez who took the first game at 11-5. But while Bonome had pulled back the second game at 12-10, Hernandez Martinez already looked the part, nicely driven on this occasion. And soon enough, she would have this third one sewn up. And in a massive way, 11-1, Bonome with too many unforced errors to her detriment. But the final game was a fight to the end, both players going at it hard. Bonome capitalizing here as Martinez returned too hard. Bonome now have to serve, and it's a nice, healthy exchange until Martinez misses the return, and Bonome took an early lead. But knowing a win here would give her the title, Martinez came back strong. That was a return with power. Bonome did keep the pressure on, and the scores were as close as you could get. Another point given to Martinez as it's hit out. And this is where it was all sewn up. A sweet backhand return does the trick. The final game won at 12-10. Nemaris Hernandez Martinez is your under-15 girls singles champion. The under-15 boys also had an all-Puerto Rican affair, and it was fast-paced. Matthew Chow, who was really on fire, claiming this point here over teammate Sergio Perez. It was quick fire and fast-paced action, with both boys going tit for tat. But Perez with errors was advancing Chow cause. And so, having taken the first game 11-9, Chow would be handed the second at 11-6 as Perez hits into the net. And Chow started the third intent on quickly closing things out. And boy, was he intense with his play. With every play, Chow showed he was on a mission. Boy, was he on point with it. And he gets the final serve. And Perez returned with too much power, the regional under-15 boys singles champion, Matthew Chow, and he was well delighted. More celebrations for the Puerto Ricans as the under-19 girls champion would be Edmari Leon backing the screen, who got past Antigua and Barbuda's Stuti Kashap. It was a best-of-4 encounter, and Kashap was making her opponent work for the victory. Leon into the net. But Leon was in the driver's seat and took the first 3 games at 11-2, 9 and 5. And this is where she won it. Kashap not getting a handle on her backhand return. Leon is the under-19 girls champion. And where Puerto Rico held dominance in the other divisions, the Dominican Republic battled for the under-19 boys title. Rafael Cabrera backing the screen and Ramon Villa. It went down to 6 games, this one being the last one. Canberra took the first 2 at 11-5, 11-9, before Villa fought back, claiming the other 2 at 11-8, 11-4. And Canberra then took the 5th at 13-11. So we're going down to the wire. And Villa looks like he could take it. But Canberra stopped him in his tracks, and this was a moment of victory. The final game won at 11-8. He's the under-19 champion, closing the curtain on the regional table tennis competition.
And that's Newsnight. Thank you so much for viewing. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.